Stock investing for beginners. Stock market has been going up in January. So the question is when the stock markets could go down and what could happen in the stock markets in this election year. A common question that I get asked is how much do I need to invest to get this return? I'm going to show you how much I made in January in 1 month, and I'm going to show you how much I invested, my principal, and how much I made, and what is required to make this much money. Remember, most people don't make this amount of money. At the end of the video, I'm going to show you 2 stocks that I'm thinking about trading or investing. The first week of January, the stock market was going down, but I still made over 4,700 in 4 days. January 1st was public holiday, and January 8th to January 12th, how much did I make? I made 3,700, and from January 15th to January 19th. January 15th was also a public holidays. There were 2 public holidays in US in January. Saturday, Sunday, as usual, the stock market are closed, 1,700. So from the 22nd to 26th, how much did I make? 4,360. So for the whole month of January, how much did I make? January 1st to January 31st. So I made over 13,000, close to 14,000 in 1 month. Long-term gains 346, short-term gain over 13,000. Commission I only paid about 217. That was a great deal. Which business can we start with just $200 and still make over 13,000, close to 14,000? No. So most of the profits come from stocks, call options, put options, and advanced options. So did I lose money? Of course, I have some losing trades, but my winning trades are much more than my losing trades. So that's why I have profits in January. So you can look at all my trades right here. I'm going to show you example how much I invested and also how much return I made and how much gained and what is required to make all this amount of money. And if you look at it, for the most amount of money that I made is with American Express, 105 shares. So when I bought it, it cost me 17,600. So I sold it at 19,600. So my profit was 2,000. So if you look at it, I needed 17,000 to make this amount of money. But if you look at some other options, I used 1,200 to make 2,800, profits of over 1,600. If you look at it right here, 420.51, so I made 956 on top of that. So if you look at it this way, usually options, they require less capital. Right here, 64.51, 929.48, profit was 964.97. So this is advanced options. So when you use advanced option, I don't even need to have money to use advanced option. Of course, I need to deposit some amount of money. My brokers gives me buying power. Using that buying power, I use advanced option. I sell put options, I sell call options, whatever it is, that I collect premium. So once I collect premiums, I can use that premiums money to buy other stocks. For most beginners, for most stock investors, what they do, they use their own money to invest in stocks. So when they lose, when they made the wrong decision, when they don't know how to invest, that they lose their own money. But when I know advanced options, I use other people's money, like the brokers. So I use their money to get the money to buy the stocks. So even if I made a mistake of choosing the wrong stock accidentally, which rarely happens, it's not my money. It's the profits from using advanced options. How great is it? So if you are starting out right now, I strongly suggest you to study stock investing, call option, put option, advanced option. So once you know all these 4 in 1 year, do not waste your time. Do not take so long to study options and advanced options that you will already invest lots of money in stock markets. No, don't do that. I did not know about it. I had nobody to show me, like somebody like me, a mentor. So I studied myself. I graduated with economics and finance. Even with those education, I took experience. I studied myself to know how to use other people's money to invest in stocks. If I had a mentor like me when I was a teenager, I would have retired by the age of 23, not 30. I retired by 30th to travel around the world. I wasted so many years. I thought that I needed to have millions of dollars, put in ETFs, stocks, millions of dollars to retire. No. If I had no invest option, it would have taken only 10,000 or maybe 50,000, around that amount, for me to be able to retire and travel around the world. Look at that, all this amount. It did not require so much of money at all. Of course, any profits I make, I put it back in the stocks, then I compound everything. If you ask me how much principal or capital do I require to retire and travel around the world, like me, the first answer is this much. I could tell you this much if I use options. And the second answer is 260,000. Then I got 229,000, and the profit was close to 14,000. Oh, I don't have this much money. Don't worry. This 260,000 is combination of all the trades that I made. Remember, I'm not just making just one trade. One trade could probably cost me this much and probably this much. But if I combine everything, that's what it cost me over 1 month, 216,000. That's the second answer. The third answer is I started investing with $10 a day. Then accumulate all the stocks, experience, education over 10 years. That's the third answer. So which answer do you think is the most correct? Before we look at when the stock market could drop, let's look at stock markets and US economy. US economy grew at blistering 3.3% pace in Q4. Remember, everybody was so afraid that US inflation may not come down, economy could crash, everything. But we are having Goldilocks economies. Economy is growing really, really well, and inflation has been coming down. Everybody is so happy, and that's why S&P 500 is up year to date 4.55%. Nasdaq is up year to date 5.84%. Dow Jones is up 2.49%. That's why it's very, very important to stay in the market. Time in the market is more important than time in the market. Do not time the market. If you got out at the beginning of the year, you are so afraid because stock market were going down at the beginning of the year, like S&P 500, then you would have missed out the gain. And if you were so afraid Nasdaq was going down the first week of January, you would have missed out the gain. Because I did not get out, that I made so much money in the first week of January, and plus also the whole month of January, because I did not get out of the stock market. Remember, the first week of January, I was making over 4,700. Stock market was going down. It was because of advanced option. S&P 500, it's gained 4.55%. So even if you put your money in CD, certificate of deposit, you could not make 5.84% in 1 month. They will probably give you 4%, 5% in over 1 year or 11 months, not in 1 month. So the last 5 days, stock market was dipped a little bit. S&P 500, the last 5 days, it dipped a little bit. There is a reason. I'm going to tell you pretty soon. Dow Jones, it dipped a little bit the last 5 days as well. But that was a good opportunity to buy the dip, like I said before, because there are so much money sidelines waiting, trillions of dollars in money market. So they are waiting. So any dip that they see, they just keep pouring money in because they are afraid of fear of missing out, FOMO. The reason why it dipped was because Jerome Powell said in March rate cut is not likely. But if you have been following my videos for some time, you know that the earliest the rate cut that I could see is in May, not sooner than May. So there's no surprise at all. Even so, there were some people expecting a rate cut in March, so they sold their stocks. Of course, they missed out a lot because they sold their stock. So that's why there was a dip over the past 5 days. There was one dip, just only one day, A lot of the companies have already reported earnings for Q4 2023 and January 2024. So these are the revenues that came in above, in line, or below estimates. So if you look at it, the first one, communication services, above is the green one. The red one is below estimates. So it means that any companies that reported above estimates is going to be represented by the green one. Below estimate, the red one. So communication services is number one. Second, healthcare, materials, industrial. The third one is information technologies. I want you to pay your attention to information technology right here. This is the third one, revenue. Right here is earnings. S&P 500 earnings above, in line, below estimates. Q4 2023. Earnings is different from revenue. Revenue is how much money your company brings in. Earnings is the money you bring in minus all the expenses, capital expenditures, investment, everything. So the earnings, information technology is number one. So how could that be? Remember, last year, lots of big companies, Super 6, Magnificent 7, they cut costs. They laid off a lot of people. And Meta, Microsoft, Alphabet, Apple. So that's why their earnings came in better than expected. Right here is only number 5. And real estate fared really worse. That's why I did not invest in real estate for the past 2 or 3 years, because I knew that real estate is not gonna be the place to make money. Stock markets, yeah, information technologies, yes, absolutely. And plus, energy is a little bit farther down the third place because energy requires lots of capital expenditures. So that's why I invest so much in technology. Technology is much easier to make money than profits. Look at Meta. Because they lay off so many people. And plus, their reach is all over the world. People from all over the world can use Meta Facebook platform, so their revenue has no limit. Their earnings have no limit. As they cut their cost expenses, their earnings gonna go up. It's very, very natural. So I prefer that kind of business to other business that's only localized. You can only reach customer in US or in Canada, in only one part of the world. It's very, very small. So I like technology company. Before we talk about 2 stocks that I'm thinking about trading or investing, let's look at when the stock market could dropped. This is the S&P 500 composite in election years, and election years won 10%, more than 10% gains in previous years. So this line is all election year since 1950, right here. And this line is election year after more than 10% gain the previous year, which means that 2024 is more relevant to this line because we had more than 10% gain last year, 2023. If you look at this chart, you will notice that the stock market tend to go down in February, later part of the February, and also in March, and April is going back up again. But I think that the down market could start to happen beginning of March rather than just at the end of February or the later part of February. I'm going to tell you why in a short time. Let's look at S&P 500 2 years return when the bull market starts. So historically, S&P 500 bull markets have historically enjoyed solid year 2 returns. 1949, the first year of bull market, is more than the second year. 1957 bull market, the first year was more than the second year. it's almost the same except for 1987. The second year bull market was higher than the first year. So based on the historical data, we expect this year bull market to be average about 12.6%, less than last year. But anything could happen. This year could be the exception. Like I said before, the best time to buy stocks was in 2022 when bull market started. The second best time was last year, 2023. The third best time is this year. So you still have time. If you want to get started, you can open a stockbroker account anywhere, or you can click on the link down below in the description and comment down below. So based on these data, I expect this year to be bull market. We're gonna have positive return average of 12.6%. But I don't think that the crash or the correction or pullback could start in the middle of February or February. It could be in March. I might be wrong or I might be so right. It really depends on how the market's gonna go. The reason why I think that the stock market could start probably pull back in March, a little bit later part of the March, is because Nvidia is gonna report earnings on February 21st, 2024. So before that, lots of people gonna think, oh, you know what, Nvidia is gonna report blockbuster earnings, so we need to buy Nvidia. Before that, they might keep buying Nvidia even though it's already extended. So right now Nvidia is 61.60. So I paid about 485 average price. I have so right now 6,160. It could go up to 700 or maybe 800, but it's overbought. It's slightly overpriced, but it's definitely overbought. But because of Meta reporting, it was so blockbuster. Meta's gonna be investing so much in AI. They are buying lots of equipment from Nvidia. So in that situation, there are lots of demands. Lots of Super 6 companies are gonna be buying from Nvidia, and plus other countries, lots of countries all over the world gonna rely on Nvidia's. They're gonna buy. So the demand's gonna be going up quite a lot. So I would not be surprised if people keep buying Nvidia even though it's already up quite a lot. And Nvidia is going to be reporting earnings. But remember, if Nvidia drops before earnings, that's also good news. Because when it drops, let's say 5%, 10%, it's much easier to beat earnings and still have the stock price jump after earnings. Remember that. Remember, Nvidia's up year to date 37.35%. So either ways, I'm okay with that. So I will be using advanced options on Nvidia. And two stocks I'm thinking about investing or trading is, one of them is American Express, because I sold American Express to buy Nvidia. I made the right decision because look at that. The gain is 36.2% in 1 month, just 1 month. So that's quite a lot. For Nvidia, I may be using advanced option. I already have full position. I may buy more Nvidia when it drops below 600, possibly around 530, 550. I don't know. It could happen or it may not happen. Either way, I will just keep using advanced option, selling put options for Nvidia. And for American Express, I will be waiting. I will be waiting to buy maybe if when it drops to 190, around that area. So that's what I'm interested in. So you might ask, Nvidia and American Express, which one do I like more? Do you like American Express more or do you like Nvidia more? Nvidia is up 37.35% year to date. American Express only up 9.61%. 1 year is up 16.96%. And Nvidia 1 year is up 230%. 5 years is up 1,686%. And American Express is only up 97.48%. So if a beginner investor look at the two companies, they may most likely choose American Express because it has lower price and it's not going up a lot yet. But for me, I prefer Nvidia because the reason why it's going up quite a lot is because it's a great company, a better company than American Express. AI, the demand is so huge. A company, a stock price cannot go up this much without huge demand, huge profitability, and huge cash flow in. So it's very important to look at the demand and how much more demand could a company have to sustain the stock price going up. For Nvidia, I think they can sustain going up, even though it's already up over 200% in 1 year. I still prefer Nvidia because of huge demand and the market is crazy. There are lots of billions of dollars, trillions of dollars where they sideline. They don't want to miss out. Do you think they're gonna miss out a great company like Nvidia? And I don't think so. So for American Express, I can wait until it drops to 190. For Nvidia, I will still keep using advanced option. Even if it drops below just a little bit, 600 and below, I may add more. Or if it drops below 500, that's it. Loaded the boat. I'm gonna load all the everything, in Nvidia. Of course, everything means that for this stock, of course, I still have a lot of allocation in other stock. Never invest all your money into one company, no matter how great the company is. It's diversification. If you want to learn more how I choose stock, great stocks, advanced option trading, or stock investing, stock trading, you can go to my channel and go to playlist. You can look at all the stock, my favorite stock, option versus stock. So many playlists that you can learn. Share, subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Bye bye. Do you want to retire early? Do you love freedom? Do you want to work only 1 to 2 hours a day while traveling around the world and spend more time with your family? You can start stock investing and option trading right now.